I'd have me killed.
Well, you're the one that told me to be kind to the lass.
I told you to thank her.
Outlander Season 8 is shaping up to be a roller coaster of emotions, and fans are already bracing themselves because a tragic death is on the horizon. But at the same time, this storyline could hint at the return of Claire's first husband, Frank Randall. Diana Gabaldon, the author of the series, has already revealed that the final season will wrap things up differently from the books. That said, key moments from her novel Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, as well as elements from the unpublished 10th book, will also make their way to the screen. So even though the show might take its own path, we can probably expect at least one big moment straight from the novels that could open the door for Frank to appear again. Frank, played by Tobias Menzies, was such a significant character at the start of the series. He was Claire's husband before she met Jamie, but sadly, he passed away in Season 3. Menzies did return for a brief flashback in Season 4, but he hasn't been seen on the show since. That's been 7 years now without Frank, or his darker counterpart, Blackjack Randall. Considering how important he was, it feels like a real shame if he's left out entirely in the final season. But if Jamie's fate in Season 8 mirrors the books and includes his death, it could actually be the perfect chance to bring Frank back, at least in flashbacks. Speaking of Jamie, fans have long suspected that Season 8 might finally show his death, just like in Gabaldon's novels. In the books, Jamie's death has a fascinating connection to Frank, which could make his return more than just a nostalgic cameo. To catch you up, Season 7 ended with the Battle of Monmouth, Claire getting injured, and Jamie deciding to resign from the Continental Army. Now this all lines up with the events in the 8th book, Written in My Own Heart's Blood, which also saw the Frasers returning to Fraser's Ridge. But in the 9th book, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, Jamie and Claire quickly learn that escaping the Revolutionary War isn't an option. The conflict eventually reaches North Carolina, and Jamie has no choice but to head back into battle. Unfortunately for him, luck isn't on his side this time. In the book, Jamie falls in battle, and Claire initially believes he's dead. However, she senses a faint spark of life within him, and using her healing abilities, manages to bring him back. This is one of the high points of Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, and it's a sequence fans are almost certainly going to see in Season 8. The season will likely show Jamie leaving the army, the family returning to Fraser's Ridge, and even hints that Faith might have survived, which could inspire Claire to explore her healing powers even further. So this resurrection moment isn't just dramatic, it's also pivotal for the storyline. An interesting twist in the books is that Jamie actually knows he's destined to die before going into battle. Brianna, returning from the future, brings with her a history book that details the Revolutionary War battles in North Carolina, including Jamie's death on the battlefield. And here's where Frank comes back into play. That history book was written by him. So even though Frank had been gone for decades in the timeline of the show, this connection offers a clever way for Menzies to return in Season 8. Frank's potential comeback could be handled through flashbacks, especially since he had done so much research into Jamie's life. The fact that he recorded Jamie's death in his book, or that he even wrote extensively about North Carolina's battles, shows that he knew more than he ever let on. So a flashback could reveal Frank uncovering these secrets, documenting them for Claire or Brianna to find, and putting them into a book. It would be a smart, emotional way to include his character again while adding depth to the story. Season 7 already hinted at this with a subtle nod to Frank. Brianna is seen at Lallybrook in the 20th century, waiting for Roger while she's flipping through one of Frank's books. The title is The Soul of a Rebel, The Scottish Roots of the American Revolution, which matches the book she brings back to the 18th century in Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. Season 7 might have been teasing this, but it's also setting the stage for a storyline exploring everything Frank knew about Jamie before his death. Frank's knowledge goes deeper than most fans probably realized. Previous episodes show Brianna discovering that Frank was aware of key events, like the house fire at Fraser's Ridge and the presumed deaths of Jamie and Claire. It's a significant revelation because it shows that Frank knew all along that Jamie had survived Culloden, and that Claire would eventually return to him in the 18th century. He also seemed to realize that his own life would be relatively short, since Claire's fate wouldn't allow her to remain in the 20th century with him indefinitely. But why go to the trouble of writing a book about Jamie? The most likely explanation is that Frank wanted to leave something behind for Claire, or maybe for Brianna, so they could understand Jamie's story. Season 8 gives the show the final chance to pay tribute to Frank's importance. His memory has always been more prominent in the books than on screen, so this is the perfect opportunity to bring him back in a meaningful way. Through a flashback or a final moment of recognition from Claire, Frank's story could be wrapped up beautifully. After all, without Frank, Claire wouldn't have met Jamie, Brianna wouldn't have been motivated to travel back in time, and Claire wouldn't have been able to heal Jamie when he was near death. Giving Frank this moment in Season 8 would close the loop and honor his role in their lives. But the surprises don't stop there. Outlander's prequel, Blood of My Blood, is already adding a bunch of twists that could tie into the final season. The prequel focuses on Jamie and Claire's parents, Brian and Ellen Fraser, and Henry and Julia Beauchamp, and promises to reveal details that the main series hasn't fully explored. The trailer for the prequel has already dropped some bombshells, including events that contradict what fans thought they knew about the Fraser and Beauchamp families, and one particular twist might link directly to Season 8. Perhaps the biggest reveal so far is that Henry and Julia Beauchamp didn't actually die in the car accident as Claire had always believed. Instead, they somehow survived and ended up in the 18th century. This confirmation changes the way fans understand Claire's past, because it opens up the possibility that these characters could interact with others in the main timeline, including Ellen Fraser and Ned Gowan, both of whom are important figures in Jamie and Claire's story. While this might not line up exactly with Gabaldon's original narrative, Starz is clearly carving its own path, which makes sense given that Season 7 already diverged significantly from the books. The survival of Claire's parents also hints at another long-standing fan theory. In Season 7, we learned that Claire's first daughter, Faith, might have survived miraculously. Some fans speculated that Master Raymond could have brought Faith to another couple to be raised, potentially her grandparents, Henry and Julia. At first, this seemed far-fetched, but Blood of My Blood has laid the groundwork for this possibility. If this theory comes to fruition, it would give the audience insight into events before Season 8 even premieres, making the final season even more compelling. What's especially interesting about these developments is how they connect Claire's storylines across generations. One of the big cliffhangers in Season 7 was Faith's uncertain fate, but now, with the prequel confirming the survival of her grandparents, there's a chance that Faith's story could be explored in parallel. It's tragic to think that Henry and Julia never had the chance to raise their own daughter, just as Claire couldn't raise Faith herself. However, the prequel gives the show a way to offer some poetic resolution, showing that destiny works its subtle magic across time, even if the characters aren't immediately aware of it. Outlander Season 8 promises a mix of heartbreak and closure, tying together Jamie's death, Claire's healing, Faith's fate, and her grandparents' story. Flashbacks to Frank Randall highlight his importance, bringing Claire's journey full circle and resolving lingering questions about love, family, and the events that shaped her life. And that's that for today's video, folks. Thank you so much for watching our video today, and we will see you in the next one. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your family and with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below.